Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. Today, we're going to be discussing, you guessed it, monsters. Now, in the past I've made several videos discussing various magical creatures, and I almost always refer to these creatures as, well, creatures, or beasts. But today, we're going to be discussing a very different type of beast. We're going to be discussing the monsters of the wizarding world. That is, beasts so horrifying that they warrant their own terminology. But we're not just going to be discussing any old monsters, we're going to be tackling and listing off all the known monsters found within the Monster Book of Monsters. If you aren't familiar with the Monster Book of Monsters, well, allow me to jog your memory. The book properly comes to our attention quite early on in the story, when Hagrid supplies Harry with the book for his 13th birthday. He gives Harry the book because it's a requirement for his third year at Hogwarts. More specifically, it's a required textbook for the Care of Magical Creatures class. The book was written by a wizard named Eduardus Lima sometime before 1932, and serves as a tome for magizoologists, however few there may be. Known for its volatile nature, the book is exceedingly difficult to open, primarily due to the fact that it'll try to bite the reader's fingers off. "How do we open our books?" Malfoy repeated. He took out his copy of the Monster Book of Monsters, which he had bound shut with a length of rope. Other people took theirs out too. Some, like Harry, had belted their books shut. Others had crammed them inside tight bags or clamped them together with binder clips. Hasn't anyone been able to open their books?" said Hagrid, looking crestfallen. The class all shook their heads. "You've got to stroke them," said Hagrid, as though this was the most obvious thing in the world. "Look. So, provided that the book itself is a kind of monster, I can't help but wonder what lies within. Are these monsters as bad as the book would suggest? Let's dive into it. Number 1. Alazor of Westacottus. Alazor of Westacottus was a magical creature with a round torso, long, spindly limbs, large feet, large round ears, and a long, pointed nose. In my opinion, Alazor almost looks like a mix between a goblin from Harry Potter and Gollum from Lord of the Rings. In the Monster Book of Monsters, Alazor of Westacottus is depicted with a snarl, wearing a pointed helmet. 2. Cocorumsey Catcher. The Cocorumsey Catcher is a small humanoid magical creature that resembles a Cornish pixie in appearance. It's likely that they come from the same family of creatures. Not much can be said of the Cocorumsey Catcher, other than that they appear to enjoy picking flowers. Number 3. Duralisnoff Freezer. The Duralisnoff Freezer was a humanoid magical creature with large bulging eyes and pointed ears. I can only assume, based on the appearance of the Duralisnoff Freezer, that they are somehow related to house elves and goblins. 4. Manticore. The Manticore notably originates from Persian mythology, and was later adopted by the Greeks and medieval Europeans. The Manticore can best be described by magizoologist Newt Scamander. The Manticore is a highly dangerous Greek beast with the head of a man, the body of a lion, and the tail of a scorpion. As dangerous as the Chimera, and as rare, the Manticore is reputed to croon softly as it devours its prey. Manticore skin repels almost all known charms, and the sting causes instant death. The Manticore is also referenced by Hermione Granger in The Prisoner of Azkaban, speaking to its savagery. A Manticore savaged someone in 1296, and they let the Manticore off. Oh, no, that was only because everyone was too scared to go near it. I think that the Manticore is truly befitting of the title of monster. 5. Greenwort Goth. The Greenwort Goth is, in my opinion, the scariest looking creature from this list. In appearance, the Greenwort Goth resembles a sort of devilish-looking troll. It sports long horns on its head, small bat-like wings on its back, and two-fingered, claw-like hands. 6. Hippogriff. Hippogriffs are likely one of the only monsters you've actually heard of on this list. Magical beasts that have the front legs, wings, and heads of a giant eagle, and the torso, hind legs, and tail of a horse. They come in all sorts of colours, including stormy grey, bronze, pinkish roan, gleaming chestnut, and inky black. Hippogriffs were dangerous carnivorous creatures, but could be trained by the right witch or wizard. Hagrid discusses the Hippogriff in great detail during one of his lessons. Now, first thing you've got to know about Hippogriffs is they're proud. Easily offended, Hippogriffs are. Don't never insult one, because it might be the last thing you do. You always wait for the Hippogriff to make the first move. It's polite, see? You walk towards him, and you bow, and you wait. If he bows back, you're allowed to touch him. If he doesn't bow, then get away from him sharpish, because those talons hurt. At one stage in the Harry Potter books and films, we're introduced to Buckbeak, a hippogriff that Hagrid introduces to students in his Care for Magical Creatures class. However, Buckbeak didn't exactly have the same relationship with all of the students. Harry, for example, was able to ride Buckbeak, but Draco didn't have the same experience. Draco ends up taunting Buckbeak, to which he receives an injury. Completely furious, Draco ends up trying to get Buckbeak killed, with the Hippogriff eventually being sentenced to death by the Ministry of Magic. Fortunately, Buckbeak is eventually saved by Harry, Hermione, and the Time Turner. 7. Limax. The Limax was a magical creature with a snake-like lower body, frog-like head, and 4 arms. They are known for being able to wield a variety of weapons at once. It's likely that the Limax's name is inspired by a genus of air-breathing land slugs that share the same name. 8. Maraf leldendi. Maraf leldendi was a magical creature resembling a humanoid-like plant with roots. Due to its similarities in appearance to a mandrake, another magical sentient plant resembling humans, it's likely that they're from the same family. 9. Nasal mumps. Nasal mumps are magical creatures which resemble both Cornish pixies and the Cocorumsey Catcher. The most obvious differences are a lack of wings and a much rounder belly. They also look even more menacing, if that's possible. 10. Chiliphoras drogodflicarus. I know I said earlier that the Alazor of Westacottus resembles Gollum from Lord of the Rings, but I think that the Chiliphoras drogodflicarus resembles him even more, despite the wings. However, there is one massive distinction here. The Chiliphoras drogodflicarus is only the size of a quill. This humanoid creature had round, deep-set eyes, a round belly, and large, flat feet. 11. Sphinx. You guys must know this one already. That is, as long as you've read the books. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, published by Newt Scamander, describes the Sphinx as follows. The Egyptian Sphinx has a human head on a lion's body. For over 1,000 years, it has been used by witches and wizards to guard valuables and secret hideaways. Highly intelligent, the Sphinx delights in puzzles and riddles. It is usually dangerous only when what it is guarding is threatened. 12. Troll of Nadroge. The Troll of Nadroge was a breed of troll, sharing the troll name along with river trolls, mountain trolls, and forest trolls. The Troll of Nadroge is very similar in appearance to a mountain troll, but differs in that they possess huge hands with clawed, disproportionately long fingers. 13. Valkor. Valkors were humanoid-like creatures of immense size that were able to rip entire trees out of the ground with ease. Apparently, a standard Valkor is approximately 8 times the size of a normal adult human, which is scary if we consider the fact that they are extremely hostile towards humans. Valkors have large heads covered in blunt thorns, thin arms, and thick legs. And that's it for this video. Had you heard of all these creatures? Which ones were new to you? Leave a comment down below, and as always, if you enjoyed the content, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Until next time, remember, if you listen carefully enough, the past whispers to you.